I want to begin by recognizing some of the partners in government and stakeholders that have helped us get to this point. I want to begin by recognizing the sponsor of the ordinance that I'll be signing today into law, Councilman David Salvatore. He's been a great ally and a great partner in moving this work forward. So thank you very much for your leadership on this, Councilman. I also want to thank our Chief of Police, Hugh Clements. When it comes to safe streets, you are at the forefront. You're at the tip of the spear on all of that work. We thank you for your partnership in our Providence Police Department. And last but not least, I want to thank Liza Birkin. She's the leader of the Providence Streets Coalition, making sure that there's a groundswell of support from the community for this kind of work. So you've been an indispensable partner to us, and we thank you for that, Liza. I also want to just take a moment and thank my team. There's so many folks, namely folks from the planning department, led by Bonnie Nickerson, that has teed this up to get us to this point. So we thank you, Bonnie, and the entire City Hall team for moving this forward. So, when I think about the significance of this, I think about two things. I remember growing up not too far from here in this neighborhood at 639 Cranston Street, and we didn't have a backyard. My backyard was a parking lot, and so our playground was the street. We used to play football. The curbs were the sidelines, and the street poles, those were the end zones. That was our football field. And, you just don't notice kids playing outside as much anymore today, the way that you did almost on every block 20, 30, and 40 years ago. And part of that is either the reality or the perception that our streets aren't safe from a pedestrian and from a car side to allow your kids to play outside. The second thing that comes to mind is when I've walked the streets and knocked on doors and talked to neighbors, one of the most consistent things that I hear from residents throughout the city is speeding throughout the neighborhoods. Again, they don't feel comfortable walking. They don't feel comfortable allowing their kids outside to play. And so the ordinance that we're passing today is our city's effort to continue to design our streets around people and not cars. And so today, with the signing of this ordinance, it's a significant step in ensuring that our streets are designed with all of our travelers in mind. By signing the Green and Complete Streets Ordinance, we're making safe, clean, healthy, inclusive, and vibrant streets the default in road design rather than the exception. The Green and Complete Streets Ordinance builds on our commitment to ensuring that our city streets are designed with intention, creating safe and equitable streets. Now, the core purpose of this Green and Complete Streets Ordinance is to standardize road design to make Providence streets safer for all users, and this is laid out in our Providence Great Streets Plan. It implements safety interventions at the outset of design proposals, prioritizing infrastructure such as bike lanes and healthy sidewalk space, and requiring formal exemptions where this kind of infrastructure can't be included in a design. The ordinance also permanently establishes a 12-member Green and Complete Streets Advisory Council to review significant construction and repair projects in relation to green and complete streets. So I look forward to appointing 3 members to this group. The ordinance was introduced by Councilman David Salvatore back in December of 2020, and it just passed with full City Council support last Wednesday. I'm proud of the work we have achieved together, along with the councilman, and look forward to continuing this partnership and rethinking and reshaping our streets to benefit everyone. Providence is, I have to admit, we're a bit late to the game when it comes to complete streets. We've been outpaced by cities throughout the country, and I think of Minneapolis in particular, that is perhaps a decade ahead of where we should be. But with this, we're continuing to take a great leap forward, or a giant step forward, in catching up and making sure that our streets are designed from the very beginning with pedestrians and all potential users in mind. So I'm excited about this work, but I'm even more excited about all the work that's to come.